Good morning from Los Angeles. It's Power Hour, Friday Power Hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to the show. It's going to be a good one today. As usual, we'll have some topics. And first of all, thank you for the support. Channel just hit 1,800 subscribers. Please thumbs up. Please recommend to your friends and family. Good content, good information, full transparency. There's one other gentleman on YouTube that does this with full transparency, and I take my hat off to him. JT, the Wheeler Dealer, I think is the name of the channel. It's lacking, right? Transparency is lacking every part of our lives. And what better way to do everything transparently, meaning wins, losses, gains, account values. What do we have to hide? Welcome. So here's the schedule for my YouTube channel for the live streams. Mondays, I do a live stream at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, called Trading with Sergio, just to get the week going. Bookending with Power Hour on Fridays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I have a members only live stream every Wednesday. Time changes here and there depending on my son's soccer schedule, but it's every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's a members only live, so it's not for regular subscribers. And to become a member, it's in the link. The links are in the show notes, how to become a member. I think it's ridiculous value. Maybe I'm biased, I'm saying that, but I think it's ridiculous value. So there's already members right here. Craig Lewis and Techie B. Good morning, everybody. So I will get to the questions and comments towards the end. So let's get into it today. We have a few topics, some fun topics that are current topics, obviously, and some macroeconomic topics that I think it's valuable for everybody to understand and to pass along. So with that said, obviously, at the end, I will share my position screen. Last but not least, I post my open positions on my trading account every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, latest by 2 p.m. Pacific, sometimes a little later, on the community page of the YouTube channel. So you can go see that. Again, none of this is trading or investing advice. You have to do your own due diligence. I'll talk about the memberships and how our little Telegram chat group is going. It's going pretty good, actually. With that said, let's get into it. The important thing, obviously, Trump got inaugurated on Monday. Mr. President now, not president-elect. And in the first 2 days, he signed, his right arm must be falling off now. He signed more executive orders in the first 2 days regarding immigration, regarding everything that he's talking about, tariffs and crypto and pardoning the January 6th about 1,500 people. And I mean, his arm, or literally he must get carpal tunnel. So to put it into perspective, he signed more executive orders in the first 48 hours than 3 times President Biden did in 4 years. He's busy. He's going to work. And from everything that I'm reading so far, he's delivering on his promises now. Executive orders are one thing. That's not law, right? It could get challenged, but he's at least out in front. He's doing news conference every day, probably, from the way I see it. He's all over the place, basically. And but the important thing is some of the stuff that he's signing in executive orders, it may be affecting all of us, the consumer. So what immediately, in fact, he was talking about this before the election, even during the debate. And, the first order of business, he said, we're going to impose tariffs. Well, he signed the executive order. They're coming. Canada, Mexico, and China. Now, tariffs are going to raise a certain amount of revenue, obviously. And I have, until I'm blue in the face, I'm going to talk about our 36.4 now trillion national debt, to be 37 trillion in about 65 more days. Since every 100 days, the national debt goes up by $1 trillion. Okay, all right. Hey, look at this. Good morning from London. Good morning. I'll answer all the questions and comments at the end. So tariffs are coming, people. Well, I call it the way I see it, right? Some of you may know me from YouTube, from another channel, and I do the same thing there. I'm just not going to sugarcoat anything. Are tariffs good for the average American? Well, studies have been made. First of all, the tariffs that he initially imposed when he was president before Biden took over, the Biden administration never got rid of those tariffs, by the way. FYI, okay? These tariffs may be in addition to those tariffs that Biden never, got rid of. So, as far as we all know, right, we are not a manufacturing economy. That's a fact. We used to be. We used to manufacture wonderful things. But then, when globalization took over, what happened? We shipped all the manufacturing abroad, right? We shipped all those good middle-class, high-paying jobs, to other countries, specifically China, Canada, Mexico, and a lot of countries in Asia. So when that happens, the economy has to grow somehow. Well, how's the economy going to grow? So we print money, put it in the economy, in M2, money supply, and then we spend it on plastic. All of us have plastic, right? We just borrow and spend. So as a government, we're doing the same thing as a regular household is doing. Borrow and spend. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But so as far as tariffs, the studies have been made. They do take away, it is almost like a tax for the average American. The key for it, though, to what degree? And what's the benefit of tariffs? And what's the downside? What are the pros? What are the cons? There are certain pros, obviously, because we have a massive trade deficit with China to the tune of $500 billion plus. Well, since we buy everything from China, import everything from China, Mr. Trump or President Trump sees it fit that he unleashes these tariffs. He did it with Mexico, and he's going to do it with Canada as well. So as far as the effect of tariffs on our lives, the tax, it's almost like a tax, and it's been calculated to be about $250 to $400 per family per year. So is it going to rekindle inflation that the Fed is fighting now and trying to kill inflation, right, by higher interest rates? Potentially, because when we do put tariffs on other countries and the products that are coming in, what are the manufacturers of those products going to do? They're going to raise prices. Well, most of the stuff is imported by American companies that we buy at Costco and Walmart and whatever not. Well, what are those companies going to do? They're going to raise the prices. They're going to pass it on to the consumer. There is no ifs and buts about it. But is it going to be to the point that inflation goes back to what it was a couple of years ago? Well, President Trump is set to place tariffs on China, Mexico, Canada. Well, they're coming. He signed it already, executive order. Estimates show that Trump's tariffs could generate up to $3.3 trillion in revenue over the next 10 years. That's a drop in a bucket when you're looking at about a $36.3 trillion national debt and $500 billion a year trade deficit just with China. So That comes to about $330 billion in extra revenue per year. What does it mean? Well, Coinbase letter, which I follow religiously on Twitter, came up with these conclusions and numbers, and I agree. This is not just theirs. And so at the moment, our current GDP, gross domestic product, is 27.6 trillion. Our national debt is 163.3 trillion. So we are at 36.3 trillion, not 63, but we're going to get there probably in the next 25 years. So we're at 133% debt to GDP. And according to a lot of the analytics or academic studies, the US GDP, the new cost of tariffs on our GDP is going to be about 500 billion. Okay. So, but I'm not concerned about that amount of money when we're talking into the trillions. However, it's not about the money. It's about what we consume on a daily basis, what we buy. Are the prices going to go through the roof for a lot of these things? I don't think it's going to go through the roof, but for certain, I'm pretty sure that the corporations are going to pass along. They never eat these, right? They have pricing power to a certain degree, obviously, because if they raise the prices too much, if they pass it on to the consumer too much, the consumer is just going to stop buying it and look for alternatives. So it is not a shoo-in that they're going to double the price of everything. Although, as we know, over the last 3-4 years, we are paying double for a lot of things. Start with eggs, go all the way to car insurance, right? I mean, look at your bills. In fact, there was a wonderful little TikTok video that I saw. There was a gentleman 3 years ago. He had bought a basket for delivery, not basket of goods. Basically, it was his food and essentials for a week. He had bought it at Walmart and he had gotten it delivered. Okay. And then, so he went back to the same, obviously, the website, Walmart, and reordered exactly the same goods. Okay. Exactly the same goods. Because I guess you can click reorder and do it again. The prices were up 47% in the last 3 years for the exact same goods. And these are all essentials. These are food, toiletries, cleaning supplies, things like that. If that's up that much, what about the rest of the stuff? So, yeah, tariffs are coming. I am not going to, be too concerned about it, but I think most of it is, saber rattling here. That look, we don't manufacture anything for China to buy from us. While we are the best when it comes to software and IT and technology and things like that, which Chinese have plenty themselves, so they don't have to buy it from us. But as far as goods are concerned, we don't manufacture much for us to sell. So maybe what he should look into is start manufacturing in the US and help those companies, because as we know, when we do manufacture something in the US, the cost is prohibitive. Well, how about maybe some tax credit to those companies to start high-paying manufacturing jobs, just like China does. China subsidizes everything in China, right? The goods are so cheap because the government subsidies. Should we do the same thing if it's going to create high-paying middle-class jobs and bring back the middle class again? I think I'm for that. But so tariffs are coming. I'm not too concerned about it, but then it's data sensitive. We'll see. We'll look at the data going forward 3-6 months. If inflation is picking up, it is definitely part of it. So we all know this is the most crypto, not just Bitcoin, crypto-friendly administration ever. So we had Mr. Gensler, who was the head of the SEC, who blocked pretty much every ETF that was going to be based on Bitcoin. Well, the past administration was not friendly to crypto or Bitcoin. Well, one of the executive orders President Trump signed yesterday was establishment of a crypto, I want to get this right. So I want to put this slide up. So it is called, let's see. Oh, there it is. It's called NDAS, Nancy David Apple SAM, National Digital Asset Stockpile. So President Trump has signed an executive order, another one, to develop a national digital asset stockpile. And he also signed an executive order to create a crypto working group. Look, in our wildest dreams, we wouldn't have expected this. Although on the crypto, specifically Bitcoin, it didn't matter that much, as far as price is concerned. But I think the game on now, okay? And the Senate also formed a group called Senate Banking Digital Assets Subcommittee, and Senator Cynthia Lummis, who is a huge proponent of Bitcoin, okay, advocate, has been appointed the chair of the subcommittee. So bulls are celebrating everywhere. Look, again, this is just an executive order. This is not commitment of billions or trillions of dollars going into Bitcoin or other crypto assets. But it's definitely, a lot more than what we got last 4 years under the Biden administration. Okay. And now we'll see. I mean, we know about Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. We know about all these other companies such as Marathon and CleanSpark and Riot Chain. They're all buying Bitcoin. Smaller companies such as KULR, Cooler Systems, they're buying Bitcoin as a treasury asset. Is it a matter of time until the U.S. government? Well, first of all, as we know, we are holding to 65,000 Bitcoin from the Silk Road days. Some of you may or may not know, Silk Road was the origination of the dark web. And in fact, Mr. President, pardoned the founder of Silk Road after 10 years in jail. Okay. So Bitcoin was used for, all the money laundering and nefarious things, right, for years. Well, now it's mainstream. Now there's nobody on the globe that doesn't know about Bitcoin, right? And as we know, it's a finite. So my point to all of this is, what's going to happen? Is it going to, is the U.S. government going to get involved? Should they sell, or I don't even know if they have sold, the Biden administration, those 65,000 Bitcoin worth about, now I think it's worth at 105,000 Bitcoin price, probably $7 trillion. $7 billion. I don't know. Germany did. Germany had the same Silk Road days Bitcoin that they were holding 50,000 of them. They sold at 50,000. As long as that pressure got lifted, Bitcoin took off. Well, I don't think, I hope the Biden administration did not sell the Bitcoin. I think we should keep that, and we should add to that, as opposed to just selling it, because 6.5 billion in the realm of 36 trillion in national debt is nothing. But, the committee has been formed. Cynthia Lummis is a huge advocate. Trump's, President Trump's Secretary of Finance is a hedge funder. Supposedly he was holding, but he was supposed to divest it. He was holding, half of 500 million or 500,000, I'm not sure, in ETF, that the BlackRock ETF. So look, I don't know. Time will tell, but I personally am very positive on Bitcoin itself. I don't know, President Trump already talked about he's going to first pay attention to the coins that are formed in the US. That includes Solana. That's why Solana is doing what it's doing. So, time will tell. I think I am very hopeful that, if the US government comes in, by the way, right, buys Bitcoin or other cryptos, what do you guys think the rest of the world is going to do? They're not going to just sit and watch, right? Here comes the train. So if you do not have Bitcoin, I have had Bitcoin for a while. I started just dollar cost averaging again, the start of this year. Every Monday, I'll buy a little bit. So I'm averaging up now, but it's okay. I think game on. And, I think as Bitcoin as a treasury asset is going to do pretty well. And If you don't have Bitcoin, and don't trade Bitcoin, by the way, just buy it and hold it, take it, put it in your cold storage. If you don't have Bitcoin, I think everybody should have 3, maybe 4, maybe 5%, depending on your age, actually. As an asset class, I think you should add it to your portfolio. So, Bitcoin on one side, we all know about shit coins. And more importantly, we all know about meme coins, right? So the meme coin that is on Coinbase, one of the original ones is Dogecoin, right? Doge, right? I don't know where it's at, like 0.00002 or something, whatever. Meme coins are what they are meant to be. They're just memes. Memes, we all know what memes are, right? A picture or somebody's dog or somebody's cat or whatever. They're mostly built on the Solana network. And to create a meme coin, by the way, is supposedly very easy. Okay. So I promised my member group here, if I do 2x on my account, trading account, I'm going to create a meme coin called Know Your Worth. Because in life, we should know your worth. I think we'll have some takers. So as I promised that I will keep, if I 2x my trading account, which I will share, my trading account at the end of the month is coming, how my first month went. Full transparency, I'm going to, talk about the equity because that's the scoreboard. What I bought, what I sold is inconsequential. Equity, you look at equity, that's your scoreboard. If your equity is going up and if you're not withdrawing any money from that account, which I don't, and if you're not depositing any money into that account, which I don't, that's it. That's your scoreboard. That's your percentage for the month. And I'm going to do it every month at the end of the month or first week of the next month, just like I did my year-end recap last year. So, meme coins are what they are. And I don't think they're worth the paper printed on. They're printed on. But they do wildly swing. They go like 10x on some of them. And I'm like, okay, well, we should have our own meme coin. Know Your Worth group. By then, hopefully, the group will grow. But who had the meme coin of all meme coins this past weekend? Who did it? Any guesses? Well, we know who did it, didn't we? So there you go. Mr. President Trump and his wife, Melania Trump, one after the other, came out with their own coins, meme coins. Now, again, these are not worth the paper they're printed on. It's just pushed by some influencer. And what bigger influencer than the President of the United States? Okay, there you go. So during a press conference, by the way, when Kobayashi-san from, Masa-san from Kobayashi-san, Masa-san from SoftBank, Oracle CEO Larry Ellison, and Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, were at the White House. They announced a $500 billion investment in AI. Okay, it's a show of force or whatever. But during that news conference, as we know what happened to Trump coin, right? We all know. I hope you do. That thing came out. He tweeted it. A friend of mine texted me like 9 p.m. on Friday, literally 9 p.m. last Friday. He goes, Trump has a coin. I'm like, get out of here. And then he goes, no, it's $5 already. I'm going like, okay, well, how many? So I go look over, obviously Google it. There's 1 billion coins potentially out there, could be coming to market. At the moment, there is only 200 million in circulation. Okay. At 5, it's worth 5 billion because I'm looking at 1 billion coins potential, coming to the market. Well, I go, that's ridiculous. How could it be worth 5 billion in half an hour? And sure enough, who's the fool? You're looking at it. And that coin went from $5. I watched it go all the way to $72. So at $72, it's $72 billion. People, think about this, okay? But so during that news conference with all those 3 heavy hitters in the AI world or investment world, a reporter asked Donald Trump, This is Donald's, Mr. President's quote. He goes, I don't know where it is. I don't know very much about it. Where is it today? As far as price is concerned. So last time I checked, it was like 32, 33, I think. So that's still worth 32 billion people. According to a lot of the news, look, I haven't fact checked this, and there's a lot of stuff going around. Some people are saying that Trump has nothing to do with, this. He's just an influencer. He got paid as for licensing. I don't know. But there is one wallet that's holding, well, you can see this on the Solana network. There is one wallet that holds 80% of these Bitcoins. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a lot of people are guessing it's him. So that reporter asked President Trump, you made a lot of money, sir. And Trump said, how much? And reporter says several $1 billion. He goes, turns around to the other three standing by him, because as we know, Larry Ellison is probably, I think he's the second richest person on the planet at the moment, or third. He goes, that's peanuts for these guys. He has a way of like shoving a question under the rug. He does that well. But I caught this tweet by Mark Cuban, who was all in, like Elon Musk was all in for Donald Trump, and Mark Cuban was all in for Joe Biden. So he tweets this out. If meme coins are the way, maybe I'll issue one with a twist. Same terms as Trump, 20% float, same release schedule, one difference. All the revenue from the sale of the coins goes to the US Treasury. The wallet address will be published so everyone can track it. If you want to gamble, gamble, but at least use it to make a dent in the US debt. Are you in? First of all, Mr. Cuban, I don't think your coin is going to do what you think is going to do. You are not Donald Trump. I mean, you are not the president of the United States. You're not even the owner of the Dallas Mavericks anymore. So I'm going like, what do you guys think? So put it in the chat. I'll look at it at the end. Should we start a Know Your Worth coin? Should we? I think so. I bet you a lot of, millennials and Gen, whatever the latest gens are, they're all into this stuff. Maybe, it'll go from, so it'll be priced maybe 0 point, like we're going with the Satoshi level style, 8 digits to the right of the zero decimal, 0.00001. So if it goes from 0.0002, we doubled our money. I am deadly serious about this, by the way. That's why I'm going to put my account value out. If I 2x my account, I think my starting value was like 108 something. So I'm at like 300K at the end of the year. I am doing this. I'm going to blow. It supposedly takes between $20,000 and $50,000 to create a Bitcoin. I mean, meme coin. I'm like, there you go. I'm going to do it. And it's a good tax write-off probably. But, that's the fun part of the power hour today. So now from that, we're going to do a little bit of a Debbie Downer kind of a news. Okay. How many of you have credit card balances on the chat? How many of you have credit card balances that are probably at their limits? How many? A lot of you, right? Okay. Well, I have credit card balances, but I try my best to use the credit card, float the bank's money for 30 days, and pay it off. Because the interest rates you're going to get charged on these credit cards is astronomical. The average interest rate in the US, average credit card interest rate in the US is 22%. And that sounded low to me, actually. Because I look at my APRs whenever I don't pay the balance. I look at that number, it's like 28, 35. Think about it. 30% interest on something you bought. I mean, that's going to cost you 30% more, and you already used it and got rid of it probably. Think about it, people. So, but unfortunately, we are addicted to plastic in this country. Plastic runs everything. Without plastic, we can't function. But if you're going to get plastic and use plastic, credit cards, now I'm not blaming the consumer to use credit cards because economy is tough, inflation is going up. Certain things we'll have to use our credit cards, obviously, and then hopefully pay the balance at the end of the month. But the news is not looking good. Credit card balances in this country are at an all-time high. And why is that bad for the economy? Potentially, is because 80% of our GDP, that $27.3 trillion, is consumer spending. And most of it is happening on plastic, right? I mean, we're a cashless society. I mean, when was the last time you just took out cash and paid, with cash for something? I don't honestly remember it. We all have it on our Google Pay, Apple Pay, beep, done. Like, so we don't see the money going in and out, right? We get, let's say, auto deposits from our W-2. If we have a W-2, auto deposits to our bank account. We don't see dollars anymore, right? That's all intentional, I think. It's just like when you go to Vegas. When you go to a casino, you put the cash down, they give you chips. Chips in your hand don't feel like it's money, right? That it just creates this illusion that it's just chips. No, it's cash. And but when we are using plastic, we need to be really, really careful about creating this bad habit of addiction, because most of us are, let me just buy this thing. Well, when your GDP depends 80% on consumer spending, they have to make you spend. They have to make you spend money. They have to. You have to keep the ball rolling, because if the consumer stops spending, the economy tanks. And at the moment, this is the picture. Well, I'll share it with you all. Here's the picture. You guys see this? Called FRED, Federal Reserve Economic Data. I mentioned this a million times. You all can go to their website. It's public information. You can check this out. You guys see where I circled this in an oval? That's the credit card, consumer credit card debt, people. Look at that. Look at the chart. By the way, that got really good during the pandemic because we were cooped in our houses. Government was printing money, 7 trillion worth, sending it to everybody. We, in fact, paid down our credit card debt. But as soon as the pandemic ended, right here, see this little, see this little hiccup right here? And then look where we are now. We're right back to the disease. U.S. credit card debt is up 51 billion over the last year to a record 1.909 trillion. This brings total credit card debt up 344 billion over the last 4 years. The average interest rate, there it is. The average interest rate on this debt reached 22%, near an all-time high. Okay, so if Fed is cutting the rates, why are these rates not coming down? See what the game we're playing here? We raise the rates, banks immediately raise the rates, and when the Fed starts cutting the rates, there's a lag. Banks wait and wait until they have to. They don't do anything about it. In effect, U.S. households now hold a record average credit card debt balance of $10,563 per household. What is happening? This does not include buy now, pay later, such as a couple of stocks that I'm involved with, such as Affirm and things like that. That which saw a record 19 billion in holiday purchases. When you go to Walmart and wherever you buy something, or Klarna, right? They go, oh yeah, make 4 payments, make 6 payments, and then you better make those payments. If you don't make those payments, you are screwed. Americans are fighting inflation with debt. Well, that's horrible. Don't do that, people. Do not buy stuff you don't need on credit cards. Don't. I am not telling anybody that credit cards are bad, that debt is bad. All that is okay. All of it, in moderation. If you have credit cards, well, you have to have good credit, you have to have open credit accounts so you can spend the money, you pay it, you spend it. There's a history established, just like with your mortgage. That's how you get more credit. Credit is a wonderful thing. But if you abuse credit, you're screwed. You literally are. At the worst time, you're going to lose those credit cards. You're going to go into charge off. You're going to default. And then to rebuild that back to where you were is going up the mountain. It's literally ridiculously impossible. Okay? So please use credit wisely. I'm not telling anyone not to use it. So, there's a gentleman on YouTube. He hates debt. I go, okay. But debt is a good thing. But debt, the way government's doing debt is a horrible thing. Okay, debt in these households, each household's up to over $10,000 in credit card debt, paying on average 22% interest rates on that, is extra horrible. So I am urging, please don't use credit cards for stuff you don't need to buy. Don't buy stuff on impulse on credit cards. Have a debit card. If you have the cash, buy it. If you don't have the cash, look, I'm not telling you, like, if you have a major purchase to do, you're going to buy a refrigerator. Yeah, you're going to use it for 10 years. Yeah, go put it on your Best Buy credit card, and I'm sure they have some deals, and then make your payments in time. But try to avoid paying the banks 22 to 35% interest. Banks are rich enough, and they will hook you with it, and they will send you more credit cards. If you're credit good, they will send you, and then pretty soon you'll have like a row of 20 credit cards with $10,000 limits on it, and you're thinking, I made it. Yeah, there's the other side of the coin on that. So please don't do it. So besides today, well, last night actually, but today in the US, Japanese central bank increased their interest rates by 0.5%. What happened last time when Japan central bank increased the rates? You guys remember something happened last August? It's called the Japanese yen carry trade. I don't want to get into the explanation of the carry trade, but that was major news overnight, and luckily the markets did not experience anything like that yet. But this time I think the markets were ready for the carry trade debacle not to take place again one more time, part 2. And the positioning was okay, the hedges were okay. So carry trade, zero quickly, is hedge funds and institutions go borrow at 0 interest rates and come invest in the US at 5%. That's the carry trade. But then what happens is that the currency fluctuations, you have to consider the currency fluctuations, because you cannot buy US assets, stocks, bonds with Japanese yen. Exchange rates were going crazy. Japanese yen was getting super weak, and a lot of people were short the Japanese yen to hedge themselves. And then when the carry trade happened, they raised the rates. That was the problem. But we know market took sold off about 30%. But we're back. So besides that, 3 days ago, I think 3 days ago, first one of the Mag 7, which is Netflix, came out with their earnings, blew it out, raising prices up to 300 million subscribers. So what I'm trying to say is earnings season, people. What is the outlook for the Mag 7? Because those 7 stocks maybe should be Mag 8, Mag 9 by now. But those are the 7, 8 stocks that are holding the whole thing up. Because if you look at the underlying layers of the market, if you look at the advanced decline line, if you look at the mid caps, small caps, they're not going anywhere. There's all those 7, 8 stocks, the generals are just keep pushing the market higher and higher and higher. We all know what the Mag 7 is, hopefully, but if we don't, here they are. Mag 7, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Apple, and Nvidia. So what is the outlook? So Netflix should be in there. Netflix came out, so Mag 8. I'm making it Mag 8 now. Netflix came out, blew the earnings out. Stock went up $125. And if you look at Netflix chart, it's amazing, actually. But what is the outlook for the Mag 7? Well, I'll talk about it when I go to my charts in my weekly watch list. There's one of the Mag 7, which you all can probably guess, is acting horribly going into earnings. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but the growth that the Mag 7s have experienced, I mean, most of the Mag 7 for future earnings are probably priced correctly, but most of them are overpriced under any metric that you look at, any metric, right? So according to a lot of the pundits, the other thing is Mag 7 share of the S&P 500 earnings growth is expected to contract this year to just 33% from like 45%. So a lot of Wall Street, and that one includes me, by the way. I'm thinking with the lower interest rate picture, an ETF like IWM will do well. IWM is the Russell 2000. So basically, Mag 7 is not going to grow as fast as they're going to grow earnings-wise this year. They still will contribute a little bit, to the indexes, but I think the Russell 2000s, the Russell 1000, Wilshire 5000, those are the small caps. These are all mega caps. Mid to small caps, I think, need to start doing better. And in low interest rate environment, I think they're pretty good for them. And are the Mag 7 going to hold up the indexes while the rest of the market catches up? I don't know, but I listened to Goldman. So Goldman analysts forecast the group will collectively outperform the other 493, which it has been for the last 2.5 years when the market bottomed, right, a couple of years ago. So to me, earnings season is important. So Netflix blew it out. One of the Mag 7, which I'll show the chart in a minute, is acting horrible. The other ones are doing well. Meta is doing amazing. Google, great. Amazon, wonderful. We know what's happening with NVIDIA. So most of the, I mean, obviously there's going to be a couple of misses, and probably 5 of them will make or beat their earnings. And they're all coming out next couple of weeks. So probably 5 of them will beat their earnings or meet it. But at these high valuations, meeting earnings expectations could be also a little bit disappointing. You know how Wall Street is, right? You buy it on rumor, sell it on fact. And a lot of the times, a company will come out, one of the Mag 7s will come out with amazing earnings. The stock will sell off, and people go like, why is the stock going down? Well, everybody already bought it. The news is out, so, take profits, right? But yeah, Mag 7 is holding the whole table up. And as far as that's concerned, that's a little concerning to me, because the underlying health of the market is not there. If you look at the advanced decline line, if you look at the advanced decline volume line, this is all public info. It's not there. And, you have the generals leading the charge. You got to be careful, because what happens, a couple of the generals get shot. The soldiers are supposed to lead the charge. Rising tide should lift all boats. But, if you're not holding to a Mag 7, if you look at an index like IWM ETF versus a triple Q or SPY, you'll see how much IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF, has underperformed all the other major indexes. Okay, so yeah, I think something to pay attention to. If you're holding Mag 7 stocks, learn how to hedge, learn how to sell some covered calls. If you have massive profits on it, if you get called away, you get called away. It's okay. But over the last couple of days, in fact, there was a ping there that I bought a little bit more puts. The counter trend rallies, counter trend trades on into a rally. We know Sam Altman was at the White House, the CEO of OpenAI, but he's also involved in another company called OKLO, right? It's a nuclear company, nuclear. What do you call those things? Nuclear reactors, right? Because so, as far as I'm concerned, by the way, nuclear energy is probably the cleanest energy out there. I'm not an expert, but from what I read, right? And but the point I'm trying to make is there are 2 stocks that I've been following, and I'll go into the charts, talk about it, but maybe you are involved with it. And I just got involved with them. On the short side, we'll see who's going to live, who's going to survive at the end of this. But I am talking about 2 stocks that I've been talking about actually on the Power Hour or on Trading with Sergio for the last, since I started the channel, basically, right? So one is NewScale, one is Oklo, and other nuclear stocks soar on anticipation of AI's growing energy needs. Well, when Sam Altman and Masa-san from SoftBank and Oracle CEO Larry Ellison were there, they said, we're going to put in $500 billion. While these AI data centers, which they said they started building in Texas. Why is everything getting built in Texas, by the way? Oh, they're a business-friendly state. I got you. Okay. So these stocks have gone parabolic now, through the roof, right? And then we'll, when I talk about my watch list, we'll talk about the charts. But there is an underlying issue here, which is AI data centers. These are massive, massive, massive data centers. They have massive energy requirements. And where is that going to come from, right? So that's why there is a connection now between, and by the way, Sam Altman is a massive shareholder in Oklo. Okay, so the key takeaways in this is they were there pushing AI, saying we're going to invest 500 billion in the US for AI, and the AI centers, data centers need, all these large language models they run on these data centers, they need energy to run these massive, massive data centers. So where's that going to come from? A lot of the talk is that it's going to come from nuclear energy, not nuclear, it's nuclear. When this is just when who was it that said that? Oh, Bush Jr. He would say nuclear. I'd be like, bro, it's not nuclear, it's nuclear. Anyway, nuclear energy stocks roared higher Thursday, extending gains earlier, and I know they're up today because the ping was I bought more puts. President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced $500 billion joint venture with Oracle, OpenAI, and SoftBank, and all these stocks are flying. So you're going to say, Serge, go with the trend. Yeah, but these things have doubled and a half in like 4 days. When things go parabolic, they don't end well. We know that. And none of these stocks, by the way, have any revenue, have any earnings. They haven't built any nuclear stations yet. And I'm going like, okay, we're getting a little ridiculous now. And, we'll see how the game ends. But, limited risk option plays. I'm not shorting the stock yet. But, if you are into these stocks, when they get up to the nosebleed section, right, you need to start trimming. Don't, I have a saying that I carry from my mentors for 30 years. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. Don't be a pig. Take your profits or hedge yourself at least. And it's not a week goes by the way, that I cannot talk about MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, right? I think he has discovered this infinite money glitch on Wall Street. I cannot believe I'm saying this, okay? The infinite money glitch of MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. What is it? He does ATM sales, ATMs at the market stock sales, buys Bitcoin immediately. 11 weeks in a row, by the way, MicroStrategy bought Bitcoin. 11 weeks in a row. Here comes the big guns, though, now. See, he was buying like a little bit here, a little bit there, a couple thousand coins here, 1,000 coins there. He doesn't care. He goes, I'm going to buy every new high. Okay, so as of today, MicroStrategy owns 461,000 Bitcoin. This last weekend, they bought 11,000 more. And you could tell, if you were on Coinbase and if you see the buying algo go right through it, Bitcoin went from 100,000 to 110,000. Right, all the time I came back down, you could tell MicroStrategy is buying, right? You could see the buying algo going in there, just taking every offer. But the point I'm trying to make is MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor through convertible bond sales, through stock sales, and now through perpetual preferred stock sales, their war chest just exploded in a good way for them. I don't know. I mean, all I know is what he's doing, I fully understand. If you're going to trade MicroStrategy, buyer beware. And the 2x ETFs of MicroStrategy, such as MSTR is the symbol, MSTU, MSTZ, MSTX. There's no end to these things. IBIT, BITX, no end. The 2x ETFs, you really have to be careful with that. But so Bitcoin is 105,000. What you really need to pay attention to, if you're going to trade MicroStrategy, do not trade Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin, put it in your cold wallet. But you can knock yourself out trading all these surrogates or the proxies, right? MicroStrategy is a Bitcoin proxy. The 2x ETFs is a MicroStrategy proxy. So be careful, but pay attention to these 4 letters, MNAV. That's the multiplier on net asset value, okay? What is the net asset value? You take outstanding shares of MicroStrategy. And every week it's going up, by the way. They keep diluting, but they're buying Bitcoin immediately with it. So at the moment, there's 250 million shares outstanding, common shares on MicroStrategy, and they have about 6 billion in convertible debt, okay? They still have, about 15 billion to go on the convertible debt, but on the ATM sales, at the market stock sales, they are pretty much up there. I think they have about 4 or 5 billion left. because he had come up with this 21-21 plan. So that 21-21 plan now exploded, skyrocketed. So he had offered on the, about 3 weeks ago on the earnings are coming out on MicroStrategy, by the way, in February sometime. And he had proposed, MicroStrategy had proposed that the shareholders allow the common shares to go from 330 million to 10.3 billion shares. People, billion shares, not dollars. Today's stock price is 380. Multiply 10.3 billion times 380. Let's see where you guys come up with. It's trillions. I mean, literally at that level, MicroStrategy could be the most valuable company on the planet. So MicroStrategy investors overwhelmingly approve billions of new shares to fund Bitcoin purchases. The company will increase its common shares from 330 million to 10.3 billion common shares. Okay. And they are increasing their preferred stock shares from 5 million to 1 billion shares. Okay. Which we know MicroStrategy already announced that they are issuing 2 billion in perpetual preferred shares coming up to buy more Bitcoin. The guy is all in. You guys like him? You guys hate him? You think he's a gambler or he's a genius or whatever he is? He's all in. But this war chest, do you guys think he's going to let Bitcoin go down? He's like sitting here like that. He goes like, I'm just going to raise money, buy Bitcoin. How will it end? I don't know. However, as a bull on Bitcoin, I hope he succeeds. So yeah, I mean, this is something you guys need to pay attention to. By the way, only 9% of the shareholders voted against it. 91% voted for the increase in shares. Think about it. 300 million to 10 billion common shares. What kind of dilution is that? Right? Think about it. It's ridiculous. However, if it's based on an asset that's finite, that's such as Bitcoin, I mean, pretty soon MicroStrategy is going to own a lot more Bitcoin than 451,000 or 61,000 that currently have. So, some of you may say, well, why isn't Bitcoin going up to like 300,000 already? Because you just, there are sellers, there are long-term holders of Bitcoin. But yeah, this is the war chest that they raised, and it's unreal. But please do watch MNAV, like I said. So that's the multiplier to net asset value. So as at 105,000 Bitcoin, MicroStrategy owns 461,000 Bitcoin. That's about $50 billion. Well, if you take the outstanding shares currently, not the future, currently at 250 million shares, multiply that time, I think stock is about 375, 380, you come up with like close to about 92, 93 billion. So you take 92 billion divided by their Bitcoin holdings, which is 50 billion, and you come up with a ratio. That's MNAV. The ratio got up to 3.5. So last time Bitcoin was 100,000, MicroStrategy was 540. Bitcoin is still 105,000. MicroStrategy is 380. So what did Wall Street do? Wall Street shorted MicroStrategy, bought Bitcoin physical. Easy trade, right? Okay. So now that MNAV that got up to 3.5, it has shrunk down to about 1.7, 1.8. Sometimes it goes to like 2.2. Like today, for example, Bitcoin is up about to 106. MicroStrategy is down. So that MNAV keeps shrinking. So the value, the extra value that MicroStrategy is selling it as the premium, and the company itself, whatever software they have selling, it's not worth anything. It's probably worth maybe 5 billion, and generously 10 billion. So that's the MNAV. Please watch MNAV. It's easy to do. If whenever MNAV gets to 1.5, I'm a buyer of MicroStrategy, buyer of the ETFs. Whenever MNAV gets to 2.1, 2.2, I'm a seller. I don't want to deal with it. But on Bitcoin, I don't trade, I hold. So that's the show for today. And I finished in less than an hour. I'm proud of myself. Okay, let's see. Hello, everyone. Go through the comments, and then I'll go to my position screen. And Job, good morning from London. I have a viewer in London. WeZoom, good morning. Should you put in order for shares after you see corporate buyback in shares? No, that's meaningless. Like corporate buybacks are happening all the time, all the time. That's how their earnings go up. They buy back shares, even if they're not earning it. They have less shares outstanding, so earnings improve that way. So, no, corporate buybacks have nothing to do with you. Cheeky Chops is spamming. Thank you, Cheeky Chops. I appreciate it. Okay, workday, I'll go. Mojotronics, good morning. Executive order, blah, blah, blah. I need the words X. Yeah, you're a little biased there, aren't you, Mojotronics? Yes, you are. Oh, XRP, maybe. Maybe they'll put XRP in there. I thought Solana was in the US. Take it back. I don't know much about these things. All I know is I know Bitcoin well. Why is... I just answered that question. Not MSRT, MSTR. It's not lagging. Wall Street's just taking the MNAV down. Sahai 613. I just answered that question. It's not lagging. It got up to 3.5, too high. 1.5, too low. They deserve some premium. Okay, why should MicroStrategy, with all the dilution coming up, should sell at 2x of their Bitcoin holdings? Because the rest of the company is not worth anything, honestly. Their legacy software business is garbage. So there you go. Ethereum, I know, is Vitalik Buterin or whatever. Oh, there you go. Yeah, to know your worth. Meme coin. There you go. Hey, man, I'm telling you, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. All I have to do is 2x. I'm proud of you, Adele. See, my member, zero balance. On the other hand, see, look at my members. No CC balance here, and then I have Mojo maxed out. Every month it gets paid off. That's correct. Man, my members have their shit together. I agree. See, I love this. Terry Fowler. 7,000, 0%. Okay, so if you have the 0%, make sure you get another 0%. Just roll it over. I got that. It's okay. Yeah. Everything is a subscription these days. Need to be careful. I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, those subscriptions. Yeah, you subscribe here, you subscribe, you get rid of cable, and then you subscribe to Netflix, Amazon Prime, and this, and the Disney Channel, Hulu, whatever. You're paying more actually now. You know what I mean? So kept a 0 CC balance for years, but can't keep up now. I got you. You gotta do what you gotta do, but pay it off as soon as you can, because you don't want to pay 22%. Yep. Spotify, all these things we pay. Sergio, have you ever ran a PMCC campaign on SPY? Forgive my ignorance. What's PMCC campaign? I thought I know everything. Let's see what it is. PMCC campaign. Oh, PMCC trade. The income PMC, is that poor man's cover call strategy? No, I don't deal much with the indexes. But when I do deal with indexes, I usually am hedging myself, my bigger portfolio or my current portfolio trading account, with straight up puts and calls. No. Mojo left California driving. Okay, cool. That's personal shit. Should I sell your Apple? Well, it's only down 30 points. I mean, I don't know. MFA book value of 1842, which pays 35 each quarter, would upgrade 1250 at Fidelity. Wonderful. MFA. Okay, cool. I tried to sell some cover calls on HAL for whatever highest is minus. Yeah, and they're not going to get filled until it moves. That's true. Okay, we'll take a look. Let me take a note. MFA. Let's take a look. I mean, Michael Anthony. MFA. We'll take a look at that for sure before this is over. Take if I had roots, I was like, okay. Michael Anthony, you must like MFA a lot. Or you're affiliated with it. Okay, now you're like a troll. I'm not gonna say it though. Poor man cover call. Okay, yeah, I got that. All right, so let's add this to the stage and get rid of this. All right, hope you all can see this. Let's remove this. All right, market selling off, it looks like a little bit. Except the nuclear stocks are not selling off. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's take a look. You guys can see this, right? Okay. All right. So, positions. I have 15,000 shares of Werewolf Therapeutics that I'm holding. Um, I started buying puts yesterday and adding to them today. On nanonuclear, NNE is the symbol. I bought 30 puts so far. Stock is 46.50. I'm buying the 30 puts, people, so figure that out. So low risk, my average is about 172. They're 145, 165. I have more puts to buy. I'll probably buy up to 50 puts. I have 20 more puts to buy at 140 and 125. So when a stock is going up and puts are not going down any longer, you guys need to pay really, really serious attention to what's going on, okay? And I'm buying puts on Oklo. I'm up to 60 now with an average cost of 140. They're 122, 135. If a stock is going up, underlying is going up, and puts are also either going up or not going down any longer, rug pull is very near. So be careful if you own any of these stocks. I'll show you the charts in a minute. I have April 2.5, 7.5, 80 of them debit spread, call debit spreads that I put on at 57 cents. They're currently about 60 cents, 62 cents on a symbol called KULR. It's called Cooler Technology. They have something to do with nuclear energy too. They do cooling systems. But more importantly, they're doing what Michael Saylor is doing with MicroStrategy. So they're buying Bitcoin with as a treasury asset. So kind of double whammy, a long-term hold. But these are April calls, by the way, that I'm buying. The put call debit spread. I sold I had 75 of them. That was a great trade. So I sold it a little early though. Planet Labs. I sold them today. The last batch, I sold them at $1. They're $1.20. I had bought them around 35, 40 cents. April $5 calls. They're $1.20, $1.30. That was like a triple. And RB Robotics, I'm accumulating shares. I don't have options. I have 3,500 shares. I'll probably buy a couple thousand, maybe a little bit more, maybe double up soon. If on a breakout at 335, it got up to 337. It's 310, 311 now. So yeah, but market must be selling off. So let's take a look at the charts. Let's see what the market is doing. Yeah, market is definitely. If you have questions about charts or this is not financial or trading advice, but I will take a look at a chart and give you my opinion. Let's get MFE out of the way. What was it? MFE? MFA. Let's take a look. MFA Financial REIT. It's a REIT. Okay. So real estate investment trust. Okay. I don't see anything special other than a downtrend, really, to be honest with you. I mean, it was 13.45 down to 10, down 30% in about 4 months. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the long-term picture of MFA. I mean, it's a REIT. It's not going to be too super exciting, but I see the point. I mean, what kind of REIT is this, by the way, though? Is this like commercial? Is it residential? Yeah, that's important. If it's commercial, I wouldn't touch it with your money. Commercial real estate is garbage at the moment, but if it's residential and has a good dividend, which you said it does, yeah, okay, cool. Well, let's look at start with the SPY, S&P 500. Yeah, I mean all-time high yesterday, right? or very close to it. Today we're selling off a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely selling off, but nothing major. I mean, look, it's still in a massive uptrend. What are we talking about here? Higher highs, higher lows. Inside this channel that I had drawn, I don't draw too many lines on my charts. I have 3 moving averages, 20 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA, and a Bollinger Band. That's all I have. This is the long-term uptrend. 200 EMA is about 560. We're at 607. So this is how far we are. Triple Qs, same look. Uptrend, retesting the old highs. I don't see anything wrong with any of these charts, honestly, except here's the dog of Mag 7. Apple can't get out its own way. We are right on top of the 200 or close to it. 200, I think, is about 221. Stock is 222. Anemic bounce last couple of days, rolling over again. Apple doesn't usually break the 200 EMA. Last time it broke was spent about a month and a half under it and then went back again. Earnings are coming out. We know Warren Buffett is selling Apple, okay? Stock's high is 262, 260. We're at 222, so we're down about 40 points. That's a lot for Apple. That's why NVIDIA is the most valuable company on the planet now, as opposed to Apple, because NVIDIA is not going down, obviously. Well, not yet anyway. So it's just going sideways, biding its time. Earnings are middle to late next month on NVIDIA, or I think it's in March, I'm not sure. But it's just in a trading range, 130, 148, 150 range. Pretty good trading range if you're going to trade it. It's just going sideways, biding its time. NVIDIA does that sideways move before it breaks out. The other Mag 7 are doing fantastic. The best one, I think, is Meta. That's a new high today. It's 652. Zuckerberg is swimming in cash. Then you got Tesla. Tesla, obviously, with Donald Trump getting elected and Elon putting all his eggs in Donald's basket, gained about 100 billion in wealth since then. And, little consolidation phase here, nothing bad. Uptrend above its 50 EMA, all good. Google, another nice looking chart, going just consolidating before a new high, it looks like. But earnings are coming out on these things. So, be careful with it. Netflix is like, come on now, look at that, right? Go sideways, new high. That's the definition of an uptrend. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And if you are interested in selling cash secured puts and things like that, every time you get a 10% correction on these, by all means, knock yourselves out. And what other ones are in there? Well, we showed Apple. Apple is garbage. Microsoft, retesting, just going sideways. So this is what I think is going to happen. So this is the SPY, right? And this is the IWM. IWM is the Russell 2000. If you guys look back 3 years on IWM versus S&P 500, you guys will discover how much IWM has underperformed. So let's look at SPY over the same time period as IWM is. So if I'm going to DCA into anything these days, into ETFs, I'd rather do IWM. Look at the difference, right? So let's look at the same date. Let's look at this date right here when the market bottom, when the Fed stopped cutting rates. This is 10/31 2023. Okay, that's when the Fed stopped raising rates. They didn't cut it, but okay. So we're looking at 413, 414 on SPY. We're at 611, 610, whatever. So we're up about 48%. Okay, let's look at over the same period on IWM. Here's the low, 161, same date, same time. And today we're at 229. So that's 60 points. Let's be generous. Let's call it 70 points. 70 points on 161 is about 30. I can get the exact number. So let's see. 70 on 161 divided by 161 is about 42%. Okay. So one is 50% plus. The other one is, is lagging. So I think the small caps, which is IWM, is going to catch up. But if you DCA'd into anything over the last 2 years, you did great. Okay, and triple Q, obviously the headliner when it comes to that. So I'll go through some charts and show some charts. Look at my. I'm definitely liking the Chinese stocks. I think saber rattling is going to be over. I think all those stocks are extremely undervalued. But we showed Apple. A lot of people ask me about AMD. Keep asking me about AMD. I'm going like, I don't know. I look at charts first and look at the fundamentals. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Stock high 227. We're at one. Hit a low of 114. We're at 122. Lower lows, lower highs. I don't see much. When it starts moving, maybe we'll pay attention to it. Amazon, another wonderful Mag 7. Look at that, right? Just made a new high, pulling back a little bit. A lot of people talk about the quantum computing stocks. You know what happened there. They went up, they crashed. So here we go. I had Alibaba when I first started the channel about 5 months ago. I owned it in the mid 70s. Then it took a huge run. I sold it. Now I'm definitely looking to get back into it by either selling cash secured puts or just buying the stock outright in my long-term portfolio. This is not a trade. I have 2 accounts. Let's look at Baidu. These are undervalued if the tariffs are not as bad as people think it's going to be. So I sold my Kava last year with a 5x plus. I just sold at right about here, testing the 200 EMA. I sold a 110 put. I want to own it again the worst way. Again, it's in the long-term account. Short-term trading account, I showed you guys my positions already. This was the one I sold the options way too goddamn early. It's breaking out, looking beautiful. Any pullback, I will get in. That's PL, Planet Labs. All the stocks that I've been talking about for the last 5 months. Lunar, we bought this thing in the sevens, mid sevens. We're talking 25, just hit 25 today. Short period of time. I traded the heck out of the options on this as well. So find these uptrends, man, and buy the pullbacks. Look at the light blue line is my 50 EMA. How many times did this kiss the 50 EMA, right? Bloom Energy, look at that thing, right? 2 days ago. What am I, right here. When was this date? January 13th. Kisses the 50 EMA at 20 and change, 2075 range, $30. You just got to find these uptrends and trade it. If you can't find it, run a scanner with certain filters. You should be okay. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, please put them up. Let's look at Cooler. Yeah, it's just kind of going sideways. RB Robotics. Yeah, that's either going to. I have 3,500 shares, so I'm not concerned. But it's either a bear flag, like right here, that's going to break down, and we're going to die with it. Which I'm not. I'm going to take my money out. But I'm hoping it just breaks out and we take off. Roth actually loves the stock, so it's in the right group. Let's see, Marathon. They're doing what MicroStrategy is doing, right? Buying Bitcoin as well. MicroStrategy today is down when Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is like 106, if I'm not mistaken. This is MSTU, but this is MSTR. So it's just going sideways, right? So when you guys have to figure this out. If Bitcoin gets to 200,000, I figured MicroStrategy with a 1.6, 1.7 MNAV is going to be about $600. So there's a double coming somewhere here, but the old premium of 3.5, forget about it. That's not there. People are asking me about Nike. Should I sell cash secured puts? I guess. If you think Nike is still a viable company, if you think Nike is still great, One thing about Nike is that if you look at a bigger term picture, long-term picture, look where Nike is at, people. Nike is at 73, okay? Let's look at the 10-year picture. Nike at 73 is where it was October, November of 2019. And if you did something cash secured puts with it or whatever, you're just holding it now. You just got it signed and you're just going to keep holding it, you know? Stock high of 180, now we're at 73. I see it going to maybe 60, but then if you can take some decent premiums out of it, at this level, I probably don't mind doing that. You know, and it's into a little bit of support, 66 to 70 here. So I guess, yeah, it's a valid point. Here are the stocks I'm buying puts on NNE, which is one nuclear has gone nuclear. NNE, nano nuclear. Holy shit, it's 47. That's, I think, missing a day. I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's the weekly. What am I doing? Okay, 1 year, 1 day. Look what's happening here, people. The stock was 20 bucks 6 days ago, 7 days ago. In fact, it was kind of breaking down. And from 20 to 46. If you guys don't think this is going to end badly, like it did here, right here, when last time when it hit like 38 and within 3 days it kissed 15, watch out. You know, trees don't grow to the sky, and you're going to say, Serge, you're going against what you preach, which is counter trend. Counter trend, sometimes you got to do these things, and you got to be careful with it, but you got to do it. Limited risk, no problem. NVIDIA down 5 today. Really? Wow. I didn't think so. Okay. Well, yeah, it's just going sideways. PDD, which is Pinduoduo, which is the owner of Temu. That's another Chinese stocks, retail, if you're interested, look at it. I mean, like 110, stocks high was 160. All these stocks, PDD, Baidu, JD, SU, Baba. So basically, these are the Mag 7s of China. If you're interested, please take a look at it. Palantir is Palantir. People keep asking me about Palantir. It was 85, sold off to 63, back to 85, or back to 80. I think it's just going to go sideways for a while until 200 EMA catches up, but more importantly, when the earnings catch up, because on earnings basis, it's extremely expensive stock. Extremely expensive stock. What else we got here? Let's see. Oh, Oklo. Sam Altman stock that I just talked to. Oh, look at that, 43.70. So this stock was about 21, now double, right? Yeah, I'll buy the puts. I'll keep adding. Not worried. Well, you guys follow this trade. Let's see how it goes. I'll post the positions at the end of today on my community page. A couple of my members came up with a couple of ridiculously good looking things. Now, one is it's a dollar stock, but oh my god, it's up to 115 now. Yeah, I think he bought this thing in the 70-cent range. Don't look at it as because it's 70 cents. They have, you know, it's a pretty big company actually. They have like, I mean, it's not a, you know, it's not a micro cap. Looking at the stock price, it looks like a micro cap, but it's not. It's almost like a small cap. But look at this over, you know, the long picture, right? This thing based for, gosh, I don't know, since like 3 years, 2.5 years, and now it's breaking out. Any pullback, SENS is a buy. Any pullback. So that's all I can tell you. Again, none of this is investment or financial advice, but do your own due diligence. I like it. Another one that they came up with, the group, was, which one was it? Which one? SPCB. That's the one. SPCB. Now, I have never heard of this thing before. That they just did a private placement at $47 a share of 100,000 shares. I'm like, stock is 15. Why would anybody pay 47? There's something shady going on there. But I have to look into it more fundamentally. That's another beautiful chart. And if you look at, that's called super calm. If you look at the 3-year chart, that's the same thing. Base, coming off a base. You guys got to catch it here. Low risk trade. If you buy it, place your, I don't know, 7, 12% stoppish somewhere there and let it ride. That's what you guys got to do. Once you catch it, let it go. TLT, I talked quite a bit about it, right? So Fed is lowering the rates, bond market's raising the rates. So Fed lowered the rates 100 basis points, bond market raised the rates 100 basis points. I believe the bond market, Fed, I think, is gaslighting everybody, saying that, oh, inflation is fine, unemployment is fine. Nope, it's not fine. Fed, bonds don't lie. So if you guys have any questions, please put them up. I'll be happy to answer it. NNE and Oklo are the two I'm buying puts on. So the puts are not going down and the stocks are going up. What does that say? Does that mean anything to you all? Well, you guys will figure that out shortly. Okay. Let's see. Kura. I don't know what that is. Any questions? Kura sushi? What? Okay, is it a symbol? BKSY. The other one that we altogether missed pretty much was yeah. Oh, breaking out today. Oh yeah. Good catch. Good catch, Mojo. And the other one that I put actually on last week's Power Hours watch list was SPIR. App broke out as well at 16, hit 20. It's kind of consolidating. So those two definitely pay attention. Buy on pullbacks, buy on dips. People go, how do you find these things? You just run scanners and see where things are at, man. I have hundreds of stocks on my watch list, which I cannot talk all of them today. But if you have any questions, Sergio at SergioAvidian.com, number 1. Number 2, last but not least, if you choose to be a member, as you guys can see, some of these, Kura, I didn't look at Kura. Is that a stock? Are you messing with me? I hope you're not messing with me. Let's see. Kura. Kura. Kura Oncology. What about it? Dog shit. Looks like how? No. I'm not interested. Okay. So yeah, if you do become a member, you get this t-shirt for free, $30 item, number 1. You get 4 live streams a month, every Wednesday. And you get to become part of our new Telegram chat group called the Know Your Worth chat group. And if you're interested, click join, become a member. We'd love to see you there. If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to say goodbye to all of you. Stay healthy, be well. Okay, I don't know, Craig. Stay safe out there, and let's make some money. And let's see how those puts turn out. Because a lot of my members were questioning, the search stock's going up, you're buying puts. I'm like, it's okay. Again, and then again and again. I don't look at each single trade that I make, and I don't live and die with it. I took 120% profits on 75 options today. I really don't care if I took a little loss on something else. It's all about equity, scoreboard. Equity is scoreboard. Okay? Well, we're coming up. Today's what? The 24th. Okay, we'll have 7 days to finish this month. First week of February, I'll put up the charts, not charts, the account equity graph or whatever. You guys will see. No deposits, no withdrawals. That's the current account equity with unrealized gains and losses in the account. So if I were to liquidate everything right that second, that's what I would have. And I don't know how much more transparent can I be. So yeah, so I just one position is not going to make me or kill me. If you do one single position and tag along and you lose, and that's why I say it's not financial or trading advice. You have to do everything I'm doing. And again, is it possible to do everything I'm doing for a small size account? To a certain degree, yes. So if I'm doing 50 options, you do one option, right? But that's it. Just cut your losses short, let the winners run, and have a great time, man. That's it. So have a great weekend, everyone. Stay healthy, be well. I'll see you guys on Monday for Trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you guys again back here on next Friday for Power Hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see the members on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Much love. Let's effing go. Don't forget, know your worth meme coin. If I 2x my account, my word to you guys. If I don't 2x my account, then no. But I have to 2x. 2x meaning 200%. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Long year ahead.